Our names are Chris and Steph, and we live on Pender Island in the Gulf Islands in beautiful British Columbia. Loving off the land is our 365-day challenge to ourselves to only eat what we catch, grow, harvest, and raise. Please help us out and hit subscribe below, and we hope you enjoy following along with our journey.
A little bit devastating today. I came down to the basement to grab our sunflowers, which we've been hanging and drying, and unfortunately a lot of them just went super moldy. So I'm not sure what we did wrong or what happened. There still seems to be one or two that only have a little bit, which hopefully we can salvage, but I think the majority of those are lost, which that was going to be our one attempt at oil this year, so that's pretty devastating. There's a few left we may be able to salvage, but for the most part that looks pretty gross. Brutal. So we have able to salvage some of our sunflowers. We had a bunch that went moldy, as you guys saw, unfortunately, so we lost most of them. We were able to salvage about 4, so we've just picked the seeds off of them. Got about 1 bowl full, which is great, so we're just going to go through and sort out and pick out some little things, and we'll have a bowl of sunflower. So I don't think we'll have enough for oil, but can add into salads or some variety to get in our diet as well. So got a few sunflowers. So we've been struggling with our garden and things eating our plants, as you can see on the leaves there, that we're getting decimated. And we've been catching slugs on there, so we kind of thought that's all that we were dealing with. And I've noticed something else for the first time. I've been growing stuff here for 4 or 5 years and never noticed it before. But we're getting these inchworms that are in here, and they're just decimating things, which is a big pain, because this one we thought we got the slugs under control. We're now dealing with something new, and they've pretty much eaten through this entire head of kale, and you can see they're just those little guys, so it's a pain. And they're super hard to see and notice in there. The slugs stand out a little bit, but these guys, gonna go bye-bye. And I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time out here catching them. I'm trying to find, there's another one. I didn't even see that in there until now. I've been looking at that plant for 2 minutes. I didn't even notice it. So, who knows how many there are in here. The back ones on this row don't look as bad, but you can see these are our rutabagas. And you can see that they're just decimating the leaves. And yes, we need to do a weed in this section too. The rest isn't too bad, but there's some better ones. All that, they're just eating right through all those leaves, and these are root vegetables, so at least they're not destroying the part we want to eat, but it'll slow down their root growth as well, so something else to deal with. After that windstorm, we're starting to plant some of our winter gardens, so we're moving some things inside that aren't going to last through the winter. So we got some tomato plants out here we planted a little late, and we're going to dig them up, put them in pots, and get them inside into the greenhouse, so hopefully they keep growing and give us tomatoes throughout the year. Throughout the winter, I should say. So you just want to get nice and deep under there and dig them up. And carefully pulling out as many roots as you can. We probably should have done this a little earlier. You can see some leaves are starting to die and curl over, so some of these look better, but hopefully this one will survive as well. So we've got our, oh, and I knocked one over. We've got our nice big pots here. Put them in there and just gonna fill that up. And I'll probably get a little bit more dirt on top of that one just to get it sturdy. And we'll tie one of those in there too, so it's got something to support it when we move it inside. 4 more to go. And 1 more to fix. Stay, 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 stay. You want to be right here, but you don't want me to touch you, huh? So one of the things we're going to experiment with today is trying to keep our mushroom bucket going. So if you've watched some of our earlier, you want to talk? If you've watched some of our earlier episodes, you know that we've been growing mushrooms out of a bucket. And this was our 4th cycle that we got out of these oyster mushrooms that we grew from spawn in this bucket. We let these go too long, but they also didn't look as good as the first set of mushrooms that came out, just because they're a little bit older. And as it sort of runs out of nutrition, you'll produce less and less. Now everybody wants to know about it, eh? Okay, go over there, go over there. So one of the things we're going to try doing is keeping this going, but it's giving it some more food. So we're going to try it on coffee grounds, which is something a lot of people do. So we're going to empty this out, and then all the mycelium that's grown in there, we're going to kind of break that down just like we did with the straw into our new coffee grounds that we're going to do there. So we're going to take this out of here so we can put it back into the bucket with holes. But as you can see, that's all kind of white mycelium that's grown in there, so we're going to try redistributing that in between the coffee grounds. Anyways, chickens, you know how curious your birds are. So anytime there's buckets around, they think they're getting fed or something exciting's going on, aren't they? Okay, guys, okay. If you peck me. They really are curious, aren't they? This isn't food. You guys aren't gonna like it. Okay, so we got our bucket picked out. We're gonna try and get all the holes cleared again, just so that new mushrooms can grow through, and they're getting light in there. So you can see all those holes are back open, and our drainage ones in the bottom. So now that we've got the bucket all empty, we're going to start layering it just like we did on our first video. We're growing that. So we've got our coffee grounds that are going to go in here, and hopefully not too much is going to fall out of these holes that we got going in there, but we'll see how that works out. So you just want one layer at the bottom, and then you can see the white mycelia still in the straw there. So we're just going to break that up and put a layer of that in, and I'm trying to find some of the ones with the most mycelia on it, so it looks like it'll do well. There's some good ones. And so just like we did when we were first doing this with grains that we used originally that had the mycelia on it, we're going to put those in and then just keep layering back and forth with more and more coffee grounds as well. Make sure that's completely covered. Another layer in there as well. Going. It's really frustrating. We pick up the coffee grounds from the local bakery, which is great to reuse them, recycle them. We put some in the compost as well. But when you haven't had a coffee in 3 months, God, is it frustrating smelling all this coffee and touching it. So now that we've got that full, the coffee layer on the top, same thing as before, put the lid on it, and we're going to put it in the basement for probably about 10 days, maybe check on it after a week, and just forget about it, and we'll see how it's doing. Probably even less likely to work, but we're going to try put some of this leftover mycelium and hay into a little mushroom garden patch we're going, and see if they'll start growing out of the ground there as well. So we'll let you know in a few weeks if it's working. So one of the things we're going to try to do now that it's fall is kind of get an outdoor mushroom grow area going, which is going to take quite a bit of work to start, but hopefully once it's up, the mushrooms we're going to plant are going to become symbiotic with some of these hardwood trees and arbutus that we have in there, and this whole little kind of patch area we're kind of fenced off too, and just turn into a little mushroom area that should continue to produce mushrooms for years to come. So of course all of our birds are super interested in this area now because we're working on it, but we showed you the other day we're going to start working on our little mushroom forest in this area here that we've kind of got cordoned off. So this will be a nice big area that we're just going to try a bunch of different mushrooms. Some will be in the ground, some will be inoculated logs, just a bunch of different techniques. So we started on the first one here where we're going to plant some black morels, which, to be honest, these were the ones that I don't know if they're going to work. They're going straight into the ground, and yeah, they're more 50-50. We're going to plant some chanterelles, which I'm pretty sure will work. But we're going to give these a go as well. But yeah, we won't know until spring. Well, the birds are doing a good job of mixing that ash in for me. So we've sprinkled some of that on there as mushrooms regularly sprout up after a forest fire. So we've mixed some ash in there to hopefully help provide them with what they need. And so yeah, these two sections will be black morels, then we'll do some chanterelles and things over there, and then we'll just kind of make it a whole little funky forest garden where we'll put some inoculated logs and a whole bunch of different types of mushrooms and different techniques as well. What do you think about that? Yeah? Gobble gobble. You guys want to eat my mushrooms? No, we're going to fence this in, aren't we? So that you guys cannot eat them. What's this? God, you guys are ugly. I mean, I have to rake it in. Let's leave the chickens out here. Alright guys, good morning. I'm filming this because I find it just really funny. So I'm on my way to pick up our new baby chicks. And when you live on a small island, how you pick them up is they come to Canada Post in the post office. They come in the mail, which I don't know why I find so funny, but yeah, I find that really funny. So we're gonna head to the post office and pick up our new chicks. So we pick them up from the post office. This is how they come. This in the little box with all their air holes, and you can hear them chirping away in there. So we'll get them home and open them up. So, like you saw, this is how they come when they come through Canada Post. There's a little parcel up there that I find hilarious. I don't know why. And then, these aren't all ours, so we got some that belong to a friend of ours, Aaron. Oh, why did they put you on 3? Everybody looks to be alive and well. Oh, I missed Checksters. I forget how tiny they are. Oh my gosh. You totally forget how small they are, don't you, when they first start? Hey cutie. Hi. Hi. Oh, good. There. You guys, everyone's settled, everyone's good. This little ball of softness. That's it for week 12. Thanks for watching. Please help us out and hit subscribe and like below. And we look forward to seeing you next week.